You're live. Hello, everybody. I'm waiting on Beer Man to get back over here. We are at Beer Man's Tiki Bar outdoor living area. Kind of a cool, pretty nice place out here in the country. I'll show you his house over there. His little Tiki Man. Well, his palm fronds is currently in the fire pit. I think he must have got tired of it and decided to throw it out. So it's really pretty back here in the background, but I don't know if you can really see it. It looks like the lighting might be a little messed up. But hey, Rachel and Terry, and we'll just wait a few minutes for anybody else to come on, and then I'll just start over again, sort of, because I can always go back and edit this part out, which is probably what I'll end up doing. See my Tom Dooley project? There you go. I got Tracy sharing the link right now. She figured out where I wanted her to share it because I was busy getting set up. Getting everything set up. I had to go mow a little bit after work today. So I've been running, trying to hurry up and get here. So as soon as Scott gets over here, he went to get a hat. Then we'll get rolling. But if you would, go ahead and share this link. That would be great. If you have to get off and then come back or whatever. But if you want to go ahead and share it so that other people can join in, that would be great. I got, there he is. I got people going and sharing the link right now. So, thanks, buddy. I need that. Let's see what we got going on. See any action yet?
No, I don't know how to get there.
Okay. Let's see here. Videos. Maybe it should be there. Live. No, that's not what it was. Let's see. No, that's not. Oops. I want to do that. Trying to get, oh, there it is, live now. It showed up, you just kind of had to basically hit the refresh, I guess.
Okay.
All right.
There you are.
And then we'll turn it in. There we go. Oh, you want to be able to see, you turn it sideways to see, open app. See, that's what we got to do, is got to get the app open. Okay, here we go. So you can see the people's comment down here.
There they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this thing's wanting you to do the month free, whatever. I was trying to skip out on that, but it won't let me now. Come on, thing. All right, trying to get Beer Man dialed in here. But for some reason, his phone's, see that little thing that says they're wanting you to sign up for the thing here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll just have to deal with that little part. All right.
Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Hamm and Beer Man show, NASCAR live chat.
That's right.
Hamm and Beer Man. Beer Man made it back from Florida finally.
That's right.
After being down there for about 6 months or so.
6 months. Oh, yeah, a couple months.
It seems like it's been 6 months or so.
Couple of months.
But if you don't know me, I'm David Hamm, 25-year NASCAR engine builder, 7-year retired jackman, and also 5-year dealership technician, owner of Hammscapes Landscaping Company, and actor.
An all-star jackman.
All-star jackman, that's Scott used to say. 3-time all-star jackman. But I'll tell you what, between the two of us, we got 40 years experience in NASCAR. So how about that? Here's the Beer Man.
It's not more than that.
Scott Travison.
Hello, everybody.
Yep. So Rachel says, "Hey Scott, we were worried you wouldn't want to come back."
Oh no, Rachel, I'm back up in Statesville, North Carolina. Home of sweet tea and barbecue and some bluegrass picking.
He had to come back and check on his tiki bar where it is.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So let's see if I can get some. All right. So what we're going to talk about today?
Richmond.
Yes, we're going to go over the Richmond race. We have this is a recap of the Toyota Owners 400 Richmond NASCAR Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race. at Richmond, Virginia. And then we're also going to preview the Geico 500 Talladega race on. It's going to be April 28th at 2 o'clock Eastern time, because they're an hour behind us down at the Talladega. And we're going to go over some interesting stuff, some track facts about Talladega, and some of the things that a lot of you probably have never heard. I actually learned a good bit of this myself. All right. Good. I thought Tracy said she was having issues with sound. Said she was having no issues with sound. That's a good sign. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get it up here so that I can see any comments. And so y'all feel free to ask any questions as we talk. And you know, Beer Man's got a lot of experience with the what you call it, marketing side,
hospitality, marketing,
yeah,
business side of NASCAR.
And
a lot of things going on. Our sport's going to change the next couple of years.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It is, and we'll go over some of that too. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, why. Sorry, I just noticed your yard. We're going to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, yes. No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Look at you laughing.
Scott, I know that's funny right there.
That's fun, not funny.
I mean, okay, it's not okay.
Let's just talk about the race. Let's just talk about the race.
Okay, I'm not going to tell them. All right. Anyhow, we're anyhow.
The Toyota Lotus 400 at Richmond, Virginia, this past Saturday. They spent a whole bunch of money revamping and remodeling the infield of Richmond. So I heard it was, you know, pretty good crowd out there. So I like to see what I saw. You know, it was some good racing. The Xfinity race was good. You know, they're doing the Dash for Cash races, and so it's good to see, you know, the Cup regulars out of there, and so it makes the Xfinity race a lot more exciting.
Yeah, how about that Xfinity race we had?
Heck yeah!
Excuse me, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. We had Cole Custer and Austin Cindric finishing 1 and 2 for the Fords, Ford Performance, and Penske and Stewart Haas Racing. So that was pretty cool. But first I'm going to go over a little bit of NASCAR news. There's not a whole lot going on. I think they're really grasping for straws trying to find things to talk about. They were somebody was talking about emojis and things like that. But I see we got some friends from Indiana joining in, and Oklahoma. Good deal. So some of the NASCAR news. One thing, NASCAR had released the stage lap information for Sonoma, which is coming up in June. The stages are 20, 40, 90. And this is because they're going back to the old configuration that NASCAR ran in the 1990s, is they will run part of the drag strip. That's at Sonoma. And so Talladega will be single car qualifying. So we're going to go back to the single car qualifying.
Well, just Talladega. For the super speedway races.
Just for the super speedway. And changes are still expecting after Talladega in qualifying, but no changes in the Xfinity qualifying. I got some kind of little bugs flying on me.
Yeah, that's what we do in outside show.
That's right. Clint Boyer picks up a new primary sponsor with Toco Warranty. So I went on there and looked up Toco Warranty today. I was thinking, is it really Toco, or is it Taco, or is it Taco, whatever? And it was TocoWarranty.com is their website, and they basically cover vehicle repairs. So it's like an insurance to where, you know, if your transmission blows up in your car, or your engine blows up, your transmission goes out, you can get this warranty through TocoWarranty.com to cover your repairs on your vehicle. So pretty cool. Good for Clint Boyer. You know, that's the thing. We got to support the sponsors in the sport.
Toco.
So go Toco.
Go Toco.
That should be their token right there. Go Toco.
That's it.
Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson got new crew members. Kurt got a new tire carrier and a rear tire changer, and Kyle got a new tire changer. And I seen Chris, what's his name, Clay Robinson. Changed his tires for the 19. I saw him in Winter Circle the other night.
Oh.
And the dude has been doing it since I was doing it.
Yep. And he's been with the 19 for a long time. So
gosh.
Good to see they're still together.
Yep. So what I'm gonna do right now is go over the Richmond race results.
Let's do it.
The top 10 and the manufacturers.
Give it to them.
And the Xfinity. Sorry, here we go.
We got Nana and Peyton.
So in the race we had the winner was Martin Truex Jr. in a Toyota. Joey Logano was second. Clint Boyer was third. Kevin Harvick was fourth. Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, and Paul Menard round out the top 10. And in that order, there was 3 Toyotas, 1 Chevrolet, and 6 Fords in the top 10.
Wow.
That's one thing we're seeing a lot of is the Fords are finishing 6 or 7 Fords in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's great. I
Hey,
think.
look.
Hey,
Chevy
man.
Chevy's had it good for a long time.
Yes, they have.
Yes, us Ford fans, it's time to just stand up and holler and hoot and
Got that right.
These are the good times. Don't feel bad for them.
No, heck no. That's exactly
All the
right.
times we used to sit in the stand and you listen to them and they'd say that one word. What's that one word?
Junior!
Earnhardt!
That too.
That too.
First it was Earnhardt, and then it was Junior. But
still one word.
And so we were talking about Talladega. You know, we're going to get to Talladega, but I do remember being at Talladega, and when Earnhardt took the lead, Earnhardt Senior or Junior, the people would go crazy.
Yeah, you could hear it.
For whatever reason, Talladega is a huge Earnhart country right there.
Talladega.
So we'll see. Hopefully the stands will be packed at Talladega. We'll see, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But basically, to recap the race, the Stage 1 winner was Kyle Busch after he passed Kevin Harvick.
Looking strong.
In his 5 stage wins
Yep.
in 2019. I'm waiting on Tom. Yeah, there's Tom. I was going to say, I'm waiting on Tom to chime in about that, the stage wins, because, you know, he's not a Kyle Busch fan, that's for sure. And Larson moved down on Daniel Hammer, cut down his left rear tire. It was after they went into pits. I don't know what they did, but the 42 car.
They didn't use the old baseball bat around the rim there, you know.
Got to go back to the basics, guys. Get the baseball bat out.
Right?
Roll it around there. Got to move forward.
Tire
with the car.
off that rim there, and or the fender off the tire, and but yeah, he wasn't having a good time, that old McDonald's 42 car.
No, he got back out there, and then he ended up hitting the wall.
Yeah.
As you can see, I got my Joey Logano signature hat right here.
Oh.
I happen to be wearing this one of the times he was in, and I said, hey, sign my hat for me if you don't mind. So let's see, Kyle Busch, he went to the rear of the field after a penalty for speeding on pit road, wasn't it?
That was the death of the 8 right there.
Yeah.
It was
so
over with.
I think he just burned up his tires trying to get back to the front. I mean, trying to get back to
dirty
the front,
air.
you think?
I think we still got dirty air in Richmond.
So a lot of the guys are picking up that aero push too. From they get behind that big spoiler sticking up about 8 foot, and it takes all the air off the front of the car.
He got up to, I think he made it in the top 10 very end, but he wasn't nothing after. He wasn't super Kyle, man.
He did. He ended up, where did I say he ended up? Kyle Busch. He ended up in the 8th position.
That's right.
So the stage 2 winner was Joey Logano, who was very strong that day.
Very strong. Had the fast car, really think.
Yeah, so he come in the pits, and he lost the lead in the pits, which, you know, he had plenty of time to catch back up. But the 2 and the 22 and the 4, those Fords were really fast most of the day. And then 14 there going at the end, he was looking really strong. It almost looked to me like he may have held the 22 up a little, like it went by him, you know.
Yeah.
And then the 22 would have more laps.
Dude, if it was one more lap, MTJ would not be having his first short track win, I guarantee you.
Right.
The 22 would have bumped him again, and he would have been twice as mad at old Joey. But that's okay. Us Ford fans, right? we can handle that. We can handle it. Joey says, you know, everything about you hear it on the NASCAR radio promotion takes a split second, and then you just got to live with it.
There you go.
Make a decision, and there you go.
So that was the third Joe Gibbs. That was the third Joe Gibbs team to win this year.
Yep.
So they're looking really strong, and I did hear DW say Kyle Busch's name quite a few times, even though he was running in the last position, moving his way to the front. You know, old DW loves KB. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right, so
we only got a few more races with DW, so enjoy them, baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, he's a legend, you know.
Legend.
That's right.
Enjoy them, because when they're gone, we're gonna go, man, remember them days at DW?
Yeah. We may end up missing them.
Gone.
We may end up wishing we could hear boogity, boogity, boogity.
Gone.
And
who's going to replace DW?
I think we'll have plenty of people that can replace them. I think there'll probably be some more drivers retiring and decide they're going to replace them.
I think they need to put Dave Moody in there.
So, in the points, basically, are Kyle Busch is first, Logano second, Denny Hamlin third, Kevin Harvick 4th, Brad Keselowski 5th, Martin Truex Jr. is 6th. And all of those have at least one win. Some have 2, but Kevin Harvick, who is in 4th, he does not have a win yet. So, but he's still up there in 4th position without a win, so that means he's showing consistency. Seventh is Kurt Busch. Clint Boyer's in eighth. Ryan Blaney in ninth. And Chase Elliott in the 10th spot. And out of those top 10, 3 are Toyotas, 2 are Chevys, and 5 are Ford.
Where's Austin Dillon? Is he in the top 10? No, he's not in the top 10 yet, is he?
No, he is.
But Austin Dillon's
14th.
running up strong. I mean, you know, that's how bad Chevy's in trouble when Austin Dillon is one of the top Chevy running guys. Austin Dillon's been making some noise over there in that Chevy camp.
Yeah.
But Jimmy, I got a new name.
Top Chevy's Kurt Busch.
I got a new name for the Hendrick camp over there.
Oh yeah.
Jimi Hendrix team. Jimi Hendrix's team. Get
How
it?
come we haven't heard that before?
Because it's not coming from the beer man.
Yeah.
So Jimi Hendrix's team
what's up?
over there in Concord,
Yeah.
they need this weekend off like anybody's else business.
Yes.
Right? You know,
So he can run a marathon.
he ran the Boston Marathon on Monday. That was really cool. You
Yeah,
know?
I know.
mean,
I got you.
you know, would he have ran the Boston Marathon and run Talladega this next Sunday? I don't know.
Chances are not very well.
But yeah. So Jimi Hendrix's team, they need this weekend off, like the 42 car needs this weekend off. What else you got from Richmond there?
Well, yeah, talking about Austin Dillon, he was the highest finishing Chevy.
See,
in sixth
yeah,
place,
No
yes.
black hat, you know.
Yeah, Kurt Busch was 11th and Johnson was 12th.
That's right.
Newman finished 9th at Richmond, so
Yeah.
he's been finishing in the top 10. He's showing some, still has some get up and go.
Yeah.
That's the second top 10 of the season since joining Roush Fenway this year. Maybe his luck and the luck of RFR turning around, except for Stenhouse didn't have that great of a run. But, I think Stenhouse is going to do good this weekend at Talladega. He typically does.
Next weekend.
Oh, in 2 weeks, yeah. That's right. We
Easter.
got a weekend off.
We're all hunting eggs this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. I'm actually off Friday, too.
Yep.
So there was a lot of failed tech, the stuff going on with
Yeah.
tech and all
8
that
cars
stuff.
went to the back.
There was the 9, 10, 11, 20, 36, 41, 48, and 66 failed tech the first round and had to go back to the field. 4 of those who qualified in the
That's
top 10 failed tech. And then 9, 11, 36 failed tech second round, 9, 11 tech the third round. When they failed 2 or 3 times, they lose their car chief, I believe it is.
Yeah,
Something like that.
They sent some folks home.
Yep. So next we're going to go over some of the Talladega track history and track facts.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to ask you a quiz after that.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for the upcoming quiz.
Or
Maybe,
true or false?
I'm curious to know
True or
if Beer
false?
Man will even know the answer.
True or false? Is Talladega Super Speedway haunted?
Yeah. That's the other thing we're going to actually talk about coming up. Because that's where
it's
some of the stuff, I bet
haunted.
some of you guys probably have never heard some of this stuff, but you're going to find out some about it. Hey, Craft Beer Pours, cheers back to you, buddy. Y'all check out his channel. He's got a pretty cool channel. Goes over, he drinks some really good IPAs or whatever your flavor is. He goes and does a lot of the beer tests. But yeah, we got, all right, so Talladega history, facts, trivia. Here we go. Talladega broke ground May 23rd, 1968 on 2,000 acres with construction costs at $4 million. 1968, $4 billion. That's a lot of money.
$4 million
Back in 68.
Yeah, that was a lot of money back then.
The front stretch is 4,300 feet, the back 4,000 feet.
You can land a plane on the back stretch.
33 degrees banking. And I'm going to tell you why it has 33 degrees banking here in just a little bit. The track is 2.66 miles long, which is that is the longest track, right? I mean,
Yes, 2.66.
as far as ovals go, I was trying to think
2.66.
if there was a road course that might be longer, but I don't. All right. So the track opened September 13, 1969. Talladega Superspeedway was known as the Alabama International Motor Speedway at first. The name changed in 1989. Talladega is built on the site of a former airport, Anniston Air Force Base. I was thinking Anniston, isn't that in like New York or something? And the first race at the track, September 1969, the original drivers abandoned the race due to tire problems. The drivers feared the tires couldn't handle the 200 plus mile speeds. These concerns prompted the Professional Drivers Association, led by Richard Petty, rather than cancel the race. They, with France hired substitute drivers, and the winner being Richard Brickhouse.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Richard Childress ran his first cup race and later credits his winnings for getting the ball rolling to form Richard Childress Racing.
They had Mustangs.
How about
and
that?
They had a bunch of cars. They weren't all Cup cars that first race. But yes.
I imagine there were a bunch of different size cars.
Big Bill did whatever it took to get that first race off. So yes, it was a very important race.
How about that? Bill Elliott drove. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the quiz question, and this doesn't have. Gosh, I started to just about give it away, but that's not what I wanted to do. Let me go ahead and do the quiz right quick. Who holds the record for the fastest recorded speed at a closed oval course at Talladega? Anybody know the answer to that question? Anybody know? Who holds the record for the fastest closed course speed record at Talladega? Or of any closed course oval track, the fastest speed. All right, we got a couple of comments here. Richard Bain says Dale Earnhardt, K Ballard 27.
Come on, guys.
Jeff Gordon.
Come on,
Tom
man.
Robinson says Bill Elliott.
Come on, 212, baby.
Okay. That being said, it wasn't Bill Elliott.
Ooh.
So that's where we're going to throw in a little bit of, because if you didn't notice, I said closed course. Okay. So I'll go ahead and wait on a couple more answers and see if anybody knows the answer to that question.
Buddy Baker.
Okay, there's another one. The answer to that question is Rusty Wallace.
Rusty Wallace, like I said.
There you go.
Rusty Buddy Wallace.
All right, Richard Bain says Jimmy Johnson. All right, Rusty Wallace said.
That's right. Rusty took the respect credit off one year. He did 230.
June the 9th,
that's right.
June the 9th, 2004.
Yeah.
He got around the track
230.
at 216.30. 230.
All right, go to the
I think he'd probably take off.
Go to the next one. Okay.
So, but here's the deal. It did not replace the record that Bill Elliott had set at 212, like Scott said, because it was a radio test and not a NASCAR sanctioned event. How about that?
Doesn't count.
So I learned something there.
Rusty. Sorry, Rusty.
The peak capacity is around 175,000, while the grandstand holds 80,000. Talladega has been repaid 4 times. May 1987. Remember this wreck later on when we start getting into the mysteries of is haunted. May 1987. Bobby Allison, after contacting debris with a blown engine, cut his right rear tire while going through the tri-oval portion of the track. The car vaulted airborne and damaged a portion of the front stretch catch fence, but did not enter the spectator area. After this incident, NASCAR made a rule in 1988 to slow down the cars, both here in Daytona, by requiring restrictor plates. So there you go. There's the birth of the restrictor plate on the engines. She is wanting an engine. She misses me. All right. Nana's one of Scott's dogs.
Come on.
Come to Florida with him.
Come on.
Davey Allison ran his first Cup race in July 28, 1985, and finished 10th. Talladega is working on a $50 million improvements, part of which will be ready by the spring race and other part by this fall. 140,000 square foot garage fan zone, open air cup, paddock club, new Gatorade, Victory Lane. A lot of these tracks are doing this whole fan zone thing, so they're trying to be more fan friendly.
Yep.
You know, like like they did down at Phoenix.
Yep.
And look what Phoenix got.
And did you know that this next week Talladega will be the first non-restrictor plate race at a Cup track?
It's going to be interesting
Because they're having what? Well, let's call
550. Basically.
let's call our engine man up and see what he thinks about this tapered spacer. 550 horsepower at Talladega.
They're going to have more horsepower. They're going to have more downforce.
And more throttle response.
More throttle response, yes. So it's going to be interesting.
But don't they step on the gas pedal with both feet in Talladega? So what does throttle response matter?
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
All right, keep going.
So Paul Rodriguez says, does anyone think that Kyle Larson will ever learn that a Cup car is longer than a sprint car?
I hope so.
Good question.
You know, I guarantee you he's glad he didn't go to Hendricks.
I think
Jimmy
Kyle Larson's
Hendrick's
a fan. I'm sorry. I think Beerman's a fan of Kyle Larson.
This year.
Yeah. Well, you got to meet him. You got to talk to him.
I got to meet him this year. You know, I don't know if it's the beer man jinx that I kind of put on Kyle, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
Mr. Lost Son ain't having too good of a year.
so I'm going to explain the why the banking is 33 degrees, like I said earlier.
Tell us why.
All right, so Talladega has more banking than Daytona due to the stability of the soil.
Stability of the soul.
Yeah, check this out. So if you take an ordinary table saw and pour it on a table, you know how it does. It ends up like the shape of a pyramid, right? All right. So it would be a cone shape basically. So the angle at that cone shape makes it what geotechnical engineers refer to as the angle of repose. So for that material, so every material, whether it's salt, sugar, and soil, has a characteristic angle of repose. So when they were building the track at Daytona, the sand came out of Lake Lloyd and the natural angle of repose was 31 degrees, right? 31 degrees. So it could stand up at that angle without any structural resistance. Assistance, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said resistance. Anyhow, any structural assistance. So Talladega has a little more clay in the soil, so it is able to stand at a steeper banking, and that angle is 33 degrees. So, you know,
Alabama soul.
they pour the soil down and they don't have to build it up. It's just naturally.
One's 31 and one's 33. That's all I know.
So how about that?
And Bristol's supposed to be 36, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they keep screwing around.
There ain't no telling.
Nope.
See, that takes me back to the days when we built our own little dirt track, or for go-kart racing. And that soil repose, and we wouldn't have kept wearing out the banking, on our track,
right.
on our little track.
That's right.
All right, so here we go to the. We're going to go on to the Talladega curse that we were talking about earlier. Is Talladega haunted?
True or false?
So there's, true false. Is
True or
Talladega
false?
haunted? So I know
T or F, baby.
personally, when I would go there, it just felt a little bit different,
It's haunted,
But-
y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's some of the things that have happened. Numerous strange occurrences at the track have led to rumors of Talladega being cursed.
Ooh.
Some claim that a local Native American tribe held horse races and a chief was killed when he was thrown from his horse. Others say it was once an Indian burial ground.
Ooh, yes.
Another
That is
version,
the truth.
yeah, absolutely. Another version says that the tribe was driven out by a Creek Nation for their collaborating forces of Andrew Jackson and put a shaman put a curse on the valley. What do you think, Scott? Beer man? True story, right?
I go with the Indian burial ground because that's what I've been told since
Yeah.
the first times I stepped foot on the Talladega soil.
Yeah.
I think 1986 was my first year at Talladega, and man, did I see some crazy stuff going on. And I knew then, if you didn't take your time and have patience when you get to Talladega, you were going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And you make sure that you knew what you were doing, because Talladega, you didn't mess around.
Yeah, because we had, I'll get to those because one of them in particular. So 1973 Rookie of the Year died of a massive head injury. Later in that same race, Bobby Isaac parked his car and announced he was quitting racing because voices told him to. I'd heard that story. I'd heard that before I ever went the first time.
Bobby Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in 19...
It's the history books.
Yeah, and I don't think he ever raced again after. Don Miller lost part of his leg in a pit lane incident.
Ooh.
Yep. The car Miller was serving, driven by Gary Bethenhausen, was hit by another car, pinning Miller between the wall and Bethenhausen's car.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Paul. Paul says, I love your hat, David. And Rachel says, I heard Talladega has one heck of a party with all of those fans. Yes.
Well, that's right, Miss Rachel.
Yes,
You
they
know
do.
that's right. They have
And
the-
Linda says, good place not to go.
They have the hooter meter there.
Yeah. Yeah, I might tell you a little story here in just a minute. But a few minutes later, this was back whenever the drivers, or Don Miller was pinned. A few months later, 10 of the top 11 qualifying cars have been mechanically and elaborately sabotaged. The majority of the damage was quietly repaired before the race. The culprit was never found. That's a weird deal, ain't it? In 1975, Randy Owens, brother-in-law of Richard Petty, and a member of Petty Enterprises, was killed when an air tank exploded in the pits.
Ooh.
That's
Trent
crazy.
Owens' dad.
Yep.
Yep.
And then 1987, Bobby Allison had that aforementioned crash that I mentioned earlier, and then which ended up leading to the restrictor plate in 1987. So then in 1993, Davey Allison was killed while attempting to land the helicopter in the infield.
Ooh.
Now some of these some of these were ones that came up on the internet, and Terry Quinn helped me get some of these notes together. Thank you, Terry. But then some of the ones I remembered myself, because I remember going to the track the same day or the day after the president of Nascar got killed. Bob Loga, 1996, was killed in a passenger. That was actually, this says leaving the track, but I think it was on that what used to be a runway there. I thought he got killed at the track.
Yeah.
But he was leaving outside of the track. It was just outside.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. And another thing was, this is something that hit me today, and I got to thinking about James Hilton, because James Hilton, he got accident on Interstate 85.
Hilton after they came back from last year's.
Yeah, how about that? And that was just last year, yeah.
Who wants to go to Dayton, baby?
And yeah, and check this out. And I don't know if you remember this, because I don't know if you were on the plane with us, but we flew into Talladega. This is one of the airport right beside us.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, and it was sort of a short runway.
Very short.
But so the airplane was taxiing after we got off and everything, and it blew out the windows of the terminal, from the jets. Okay, but when we landed that thing, the runway was so short, it come down so hard that the oxygen mask fell out.
Wow.
On the airplane.
Welcome to Talladega.
Yeah, and what's funny about it, I never did relate that to all of the stories you hear about Talladega.
Yeah.
But you know, I could see there's another story about it. Oh, and then Rachel was asking if we had any funny stories. I know one time when I was there, we were riding through this is after the Busch race when I jacked for Nemechek, and we had some of the crew guys inside the van, and I had the wipers facing to where it would shoot water on the people. And this one guy was sitting there in his chair. It looked like he was asleep. So I turned on the washers, and it shot water out. And we had the side door open. So he had like a Pepsi or Coke. So he got up, and he threw that Coke, and it come right in and just covered Ivan with Coke.
Ooh.
We laughed about it. We shut the door. But what we were doing was we were riding around behind a pickup showing their stuff right there. So anyway, that was that. That was my story.
Jamimby Point, that's all I have to tell you. There's a place in Talladega going out of the tunnel on the turn 2 side there, up on top, Jamimby Point. That's a big old scaffolding and all these folks. The word Jamimby is 4 or 5 of their last names all put together. And
Jamimby.
Jamimby. We hung out at Jamimby Point quite a bit.
Jamimby Point.
What else you got there? Getting dark out here.
I'm going to bring my microphone next time. Yeah, so the next thing we got here is, this is about the attendant. We're talking about race attendants. I don't want to go too much into this because I'm not that extremely worried about the sport, but you kind of keep hearing this sort of like beating a dead horse. You know, people are talking about the attendants. You know, at Bristol, the stadium built for 146,000, only approximately had 38,000 showed up for the race, you know. And some of the things, Frank Griffin, Clint Boyer Spotter, he says that if one of the things he's blaming it on is the hotels or break you get more people at a better rate. Just set an affordable package. Think of how much it would cost for your mom and dad and 2 kids, or a mom and dad and 2 kids. It'd be very expensive. Jennifer says you got to drive from somewhere, which is the gas prices, and then you got to rent a room for a night for $300. Then they say it's cheaper to have a block party. Well, they say it's cheaper to have a block party and watch the race from the comfort of your own home. Race ticket cost is not the problem. It's the gas, the hotel. Jenna said a Doubletree she stayed at normally $78. Race time was $400. So I don't know, Scott.
Well, in some markets, Bristol, they just have to do it because Bristol, there's nothing going on there throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it.
That's just it.
But you can't go to a baseball game or a football game and bring your cooler. And come on, people, don't throw me the prices. Y'all just a bunch of cheap tight fans. They want everything for free. Look,
There you go.
you're a fan of NASCAR because it's a great sport, and if you love the sport, you're going to make the sacrifices and pay the money. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's
You're
way
done.
cheaper than going to a football game, baseball game, NBA game. When's the last time you went to an NBA game and brought your cooler and some chips and watched the basketball game?
Yeah.
No.
It genuinely is a good time.
Look,
and you can
look.
hang out in the parking lot.
Look, these
have a little
other
party.
places, you tailgate for 2 hours and then you're in the game. If you're a NASCAR fan, you're tailgating for 2 days minimum. It's usually 3 days. But 2 days you're tailgating, and it's an experience.
It's an experience.
It's a life experience.
It is. You
That's
get
all
around
it
a
is.
bunch of good people. I've never met
Look,
any other fans in any other sport as great as NASCAR fans.
The problem is real simple. The average NASCAR fan is our age and older, right?
Yep.
They've got to get the younger crowd into it. Now the younger crowd's just not into it, so they've got to figure out somehow a way to get the younger crowd more involved.
Yep.
With the open stadiums, where they're more access to the phones, and instead of sitting in a chair, you can walk around.
Yes,
That's what
absolutely.
you're seeing at these tracks. Okay, so
That's what I'm
they're
thinking,
doing
too.
the same thing. You got to have music at the tracks. You got to have different IPA. You have your craft brews. They're doing all the right things.
Yeah.
The folks just need to come back. And the other thing is I hate to say this, but the people who are complaining mostly, when they say, "Oh, it just ain't the same, racing ain't the same," well, 90% of those people, 99% of those people are Earnhardt fans.
Yeah, that's true.
And Mr. Earnhardt Senior has been gone almost 20 years, and Dale Jr.'s been gone now a couple of years, right? So they're just upset that Earnhardt's not there. That's one. And two, Chevy ain't winning all the time because Ford's kicking their butts.
Yeah.
And
sure
that's
enough.
what it's all about, competition.
Yeah.
So don't let anybody tell you that the sport's dying and it's too expensive. If you want to go the race, you're going the race.
Go to the race. Pick
That's all I
another
gotta say.
driver.
That's all I got to say.
Pick you another driver. Go to the race.
Pick you another driver. Pick Kyle Busch. If you want to go to the race and get drunk and have a a good percentage chance, pick Kyle Busch. We don't want you as a fan on our team anyways.
All right, Rachel says, why did NASCAR stop allowing fans on the track after the race was done to be able to talk to the driver teams? Interaction is key between the teams and the fans. I don't know, but you don't really see that on any other sport.
No.
You don't see football and basketball and baseball. Because here's the problem, though. Some of the fans are great, but some of the fans get out of hand.
After the race, everybody's ready to go.
And
that's what pre-race hospitality, pit tours are all for. After the race, when you drop the flag, it's time to go home. Everybody wants to go home. They want to get back on the plane, and they want to get back to their families. And Sunday is a valuable day.
And I think they're doing better at opening it up before the race. Letting the fans come down pit road
Come
and
on,
whatever.
man. Yes.
Yeah.
And if you can't get a pre-race pass, call me. I'll show you how to sneak in there. Okay?
There you go.
can get down there. Just pay attention.
Tom-
Act like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. You pretty
and
much
you're in
just
there.
do that. Just walk in there like you don't. Tom says, I pay to go because I love racing, but race weekend hotel rate is $300+ on Monday. It was $180 per night. I'm talking Bristol. I pulled my camper, stayed at Farmer Bob's. My total cost was $968.
That's it.
And part of that was probably that expensive bar up on top of down in the infield.
And those hotels are nasty. Man, dude,
And Linda
you're
said
renting a
over my dead
hotel
body,
room.
I hear that.
You're paying over $300 for a hotel room that nobody ain't stayed in since probably the last Bristol race.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess they try to make their money while they can, huh?
Don't.
Talking about bed bugs and everything. The price of 2 tickets, Rachel says that is not helping the fans feel closer to the sport. Yep.
Look, on Xfinity and truck, kids are free. What else? What else you expect? Uh-oh, here comes the lights.
There goes the lights.
What else you got? 'Cause it's getting dark.
Yeah, Tom says that was definitely worth it. I got an extra pass to be on top of the roof. All right, so we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Click like on this video if you like it, and share it. Let's get more people on here so we can have some more folks tuning in next time. Turn the brightness up a little bit, and tell your friends about it. Tell them on Facebook, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. And we'll just keep on coming back and bringing you the information. And if you got any comments, come on here and comment, ask me questions, ask Beerman questions.
That's
and
right.
I get notifications to my phone. So you ask the questions and we'll answer them right here.
Even if you have a question for Nana, she'll even answer your question for you too.
That's right.
But
Yep.
we need to start talking about the business and the future of NASCAR, and we'll do be a later date. But y'all have a good time.
Yep. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday at 7:30. Monday. You know what? Next week, I might have to do Tuesday again just because I got rehearsals to the Tom Dooley project. So I'll let you know for sure. It'll be either Monday or Tuesday, but I'm thinking probably Tuesday next week, and then I'll get back to normal. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Good job.
If I can figure out how to stop this here. Here we go. Hold on.